Welcome to Mr. Hawari, your hub for tech and lifestyle. Subscribe and share with friends to join the journey.
The three tables detail the total population increase in New York City, NYC, between 1800 and 2000, alongside the dramatic population shifts between Manhattan and the other districts, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and Staten Island, over the same 200-year period. Overall, the data shows a phenomenal growth in New York City's population, which soared from less than 80,000 to over 8 million. Furthermore, there was a major demographic reversal as Manhattan transitioned from being the city's dominant district to a minor one, while the other four boroughs experienced corresponding explosive growth. In terms of overall figures, the population of New York City grew 100-fold, rising from just 79,216 in 1800 to 8,009,185 by 2000. The most substantial growth occurred between 1900 and 2000, when the total number of inhabitants more than doubled, increasing from $3.4 million to $8 million. Regarding the district populations, in 1800, Manhattan was by far the most populous area, with 76% of the city's inhabitants, 60,515, compared to only 24% in the other districts. However, this trend completely reversed over the following 2 centuries. By 1900, the two populations were relatively balanced, with Manhattan at 54% and the other districts at 46%. The change was most pronounced by 2000, at which point the other districts housed 81% of the total population, 6,471,089. Leaving Manhattan with just 19% despite having over 1.5 million residents itself. The assertion that access to clean water is a basic human right is widely accepted, but the subsequent claim that every home should have a water supply that is provided free of charge is a complex and highly debatable proposition. While the former is an ethical imperative, the latter presents significant practical challenges, leading me to disagree with the idea of a completely free, government-supplied water service to every household. Essential access must be guaranteed, but free provision for all is neither economically sustainable nor conducive to responsible consumption. The primary reason against universally free water is the immense financial and logistical burden it would place on governments and infrastructure. Maintaining, purifying, and delivering water to millions of homes requires substantial investment in pipelines, treatment plants, pumping stations, and personnel. If there are no charges, the funding for these critical operations would have to come entirely from general taxation, potentially diverting funds from other vital public services like education or healthcare. Furthermore, a free service removes the primary incentive for conservation. When a resource is perceived as limitless and without cost, usage often becomes wasteful, exacerbating water scarcity issues, especially in regions prone to drought. For instance, in many parts of the world, including my own knowledge of areas in South Asia, metered usage has proven to be an effective tool for promoting mindful water consumption among residents. However, acknowledging water as a human right necessitates a system that guarantees a minimum standard of living and prevents utility costs from becoming a barrier to health and hygiene. A more equitable and sustainable model involves ensuring that a basic, lifeline amount of water is provided at a subsidized rate or perhaps even free, enough for essential needs like drinking, cooking, and sanitation. Beyond this necessary threshold, a progressive pricing structure should be implemented where moderate use is affordable and excessive use is charged at a higher rate. This approach subsidizes the poor and encourages responsible behavior from all citizens. It directly addresses the human rights aspect while maintaining the operational viability of the water infrastructure. In conclusion, while the principle of clean water as an inalienable human right is sound, the pragmatic implementation of a system providing completely free water to every home is financially unrealistic and ecologically irresponsible. A balanced policy that subsidizes or freely provides a basic, minimum quantity for all, coupled with metered and progressively charged rates for excess consumption, offers a more sustainable, equitable, and efficient solution. This model ensures the needs of the vulnerable are met while safeguarding the environment and the financial health of the public utility.
Describe a play or film you have seen that you would like to see again with friends. You should say what play or film you'd like to go to see again, who you would go with, what other people have said about this play or film, and explain why you would like to see this play or film again with friends.
I'd like to talk about a film I'd love to rewatch with friends, Perfect Days, directed by Wim Wenders. Honestly, it's not a typical action-packed blockbuster, but it's a quiet gem that has stuck with me since I first watched it. The story follows Hirayama, a public toilet cleaner in Tokyo, who leads a super minimal life. He lives in a tiny apartment and follows the same routine every day, but he's spiritually wealthy. His attention to little things like sunlight filtering through leaves or the cassette tapes he plays in his old van makes me rethink what happiness really means. I want to watch this film again with my friend Renee, who's a real movie buff. She's always had this knack for finding hidden cinematic treasures and has great taste in art house films like this. With news of a big screen re-release in China, we're planning to catch it in theaters. I've read several reviews online. Critics went wild over this film. Some called it a meditation on modern life, while others said it's too slow yet beautiful. But everyone agrees the acting is next level, especially in the final scene. Tears flow silently as Hirayama drives to feeling good, a moment that embodies pure cinematic magic. Why rewatch it with friends? Well, when I first watched it, I was just absorbing the vibe. But since this film is layered like an onion, I want to catch those subtle details I missed, like how his daily routines shift almost invisibly. Plus, Renee and I always have deep conversations after watching such films. In a nutshell, this film is a constant reminder to rethink our approach to life.